The lesson today is we're going to be filling out this text box we made last time and building a byline box to put next to it. Beady-eyed students will have noticed I changed things there from break to games just because it was annoying me, and I changed the date. So if you notice those things and go, wow, he's inconsistent, I'm not, I'm very clever, shut up. So the next thing we're doing is filling out this box. Again, I'm just going to be using one of my old articles as to not embarrass anybody, though you should not be embarrassed by your work. It's all excellent. So we've got the title down, First Impression Elden Ring, and then just copy paste the articles you've got. What we want is not to be uploading finished pages with articles that haven't been copy checked, because then we just have to go through a whole process of taking out your unedited copy and then putting in the new one, and that adds a lot of work. Obviously, you'll need to test size for the page and see how much space you've got, and that's fine. Use your copy then. But when you're actually submitting things, make sure it's either the final copy or there's nothing in it, and just, I don't know, let us know. But we can get around to that when it's actually print week. So copy paste your text anyway, and you can see where we added the indent last time, which is over here on the right, that it's indented there. What we want to do next is just copy paste in all the text. So you can see, right, the article itself has got a paragraph there, a paragraph there, a paragraph there, and it's all indented. So the next thing we want to be doing is adding a drop cap at the front here. The way we do this, there's a lot of steps. Basically, you want to format specifically the first letter, which in this case is I. The first thing that's different is that drop cap is in bold. It is not indented by 3. And as you click that, you'll see it goes back. It does have this, however, which is literally the drop cap. And it tells you how many lines it drops. This is 5. As I click it once, you'll see 1, and then it drops 2, 3, 4, 5. The last thing we do is we change the color to the section color, and then if you just click off that, you'll see that it's done. It's perfect. If we shift W, that's sorted, you know. When you're mentioning product names like the game Elden Ring, even if you italicized it in the copy, it will not copy paste into this italicized, and so you have to go through, and every time it comes up where it should be italicized, you need to manually italicize it, which is a right pain in the ass, and I won't do this all right now. I'll do a little Minecraft work off camera, but you see what I mean. The next thing we need to add is a byline box, and these are very specific formats. So the byline box is made up of 2 things, and most of the templates you've had before will just have one, and generally just steal it. But if you struggle, or if you want to make your own just for the knowledge of having done it correctly, this is how to do it. Firstly, fuck up everything I've said and just move this out of the way. You want space to work in, and you can fix this very easily later. Your byline box, drag it across, and it only wants to fill 1 column. It can be tall, but it does not want to fill more than 1 column. And generally that is lined up to wherever the text box wants to be lined up, which is against the box for the title. Generally, I tend to line things up to the baseline grid, and once again, the advice here is if you can't see it, you've done it correctly, even though it's annoying you can't see it. But it is there. The formatting on this, as with everything for the most part, is Laura. There's 2 forms of Laura used in this one. The name is in bold, and the pronouns are in regular. The size is 10. It is not indented, and it is aligned to the left. It is also aligned to the baseline grid. We'll get the text bit out of the way. So let's say Reese Mason, he/him. If your pronouns or any part of the byline, if you've got more than one name, for instance, goes over lines, just put like, you know, the next name should go to the next line. You know, but Chloe didn't write this article, stop stealing my glory. The name, anyway, is in bold. So if we highlight the name and then go over to here, we can specifically say that bit's in bold, this bit is not. And that's super simple. So the next part of the byline box is the line under it. You can just draw a line, right, and it'll be fine. And some people will try and do this. They'll try and perfectly do that. But if you look at it specific, like really nitty gritty, you can kind of see, I don't know if the recording can pick up, where it's not straight. You can see over here it's at the bottom of the box, and over here it's the top of the box. We don't want that. So the way to make it perfect is to hold shift as you do it, and it'll be perfect. It'll snap to an angle, which you might think it's doing before this, but I promise you it's not. So you draw the line, it doesn't have to be a perfect size, and then you just do this. You don't have to hold shift for this bit, but you just want to line it up to the lines of the column. Sometimes it's better, like tuning a guitar, to bring it away to then put it perfect. And then if you just bring it up, you can use this middle line here that appears to tell you that it's right where you want it. So just kind of put it at the bottom of the slash. So then we can bring up the original text box line to there, so that it just fills that. So then in order to group these two elements together so they keep their text wrap, you want to click one and then hold shift as you click the second, and that'll get both in one. Then right click all of that and go to group, or you can press Ctrl G and that'll be that. So then you can move it around and it'll be fine. Ctrl Z brings it back. To fix my intentional fuck up earlier, we're just going to drag this back into place, and you can use that left line to do that. We're going to drag it over this, and then we're going to do text wrapping on the byline box instead of the other thing. Go up to Window, Text Wrap. And then click on Wraparound Bounding Box. It'll just perfectly bound to that. If we now zoom out, we can see we've got a headline, some body, a drop cap, and a byline box. This P is pushing into there. The solution for this typically is just adjust the text box so that it's not messing around with that by like one line. And again, if you can't see it, it's perfect. We come out now. You can see where it's nice, and it kind of fits underneath the byline as well. I would not recommend bringing it all the way down so that this is now in line with that as well. I wouldn't necessarily suggest that, because then we end up with just a massive line there. Using all the space is good. Don't double space, okay? You will have copy and it will look like this, because obviously it will. That's how it's nice when it's actually on a text thing, but for the paper we do not double space. We make sure that everything is nice and tight, everything is packed together, so make sure you're doing that correctly.